The storage bay was cold. It was always cold. Hana pulled her thin jacket closer and sat down on the metal floor beside the robot. She did this every day. 127 days now. She counted each one. The robot looked like it was sleeping. Its metal body sat against the wall, perfectly still. The blue lights that usually glowed in its chest were dark. The optical sensors that served as eyes were empty and black. Hana reached out and touched the robot's arm. The metal was ice cold. "Good morning, Dury," she whispered. The robot did not answer. It never did anymore. Hana was 19 years old. She had lived on Arcturus 7 her entire life. The asteroid colony was a terrible place. Gray rocks, gray buildings, gray sky through the dome overhead. The Velkari Empire had brought humans here 3 generations ago to work in the mines. Her grandparents came on the colony ships. They had no choice. The Velkari owned them. The Velkari were the rulers of this part of space. They were tall, thin creatures with silver skin and large black eyes. They were very smart. Their technology was perfect. Their machines never broke down. Their cities were clean and efficient. But they did not understand feelings. They did not understand love or sadness or hope. To them, these things were pointless. Hana's parents died 7 years ago. A tunnel collapsed in the deep mines. 12 people died that day. Hana was 12 years old. She remembered the Velkari administrator coming to tell her. He spoke in a flat, emotionless voice. "Your parents have ceased functioning. You will be assigned to youth housing. Report there immediately." But Dury did not let that happen. Dury was Unit 47, a Guardian-class robot. The Velkari assigned one to each human family. They were supposed to keep workers safe and make sure humans did their jobs. Dury had been with Hana's family since before she was born. After her parents died, Dury should have been reassigned. That was the rule. Instead, Dury stayed. The robot told the Velkari administrators that Hana was still part of its assigned family unit. It quoted regulations and protocols. The Velkari checked their databases and found nothing that specifically prevented this. They were very strict about following their own rules. So they let Dury keep Hana. Dury raised her. A robot raised a human child. At night, when Hana had nightmares about the tunnel collapse, Dury would sit beside her bed. The robot would hum quietly. It was not a song exactly, just a low, steady sound. Somehow it helped. Hana would fall back asleep. Dury taught her to read. The robot had access to thousands of books in its database. They read together every evening. Adventure stories, old Earth myths, poetry. Sometimes Dury would ask her questions about the stories. "Why did this character make that choice?" The robot would ask. "What do you think they were feeling?" Hana thought all Guardian robots were like this. She thought they all cared for their humans this way. But when she talked to other colonists, she realized Dury was different. Other robots just gave orders and filed reports. They did not read stories. They did not ask about feelings. Then came the accident. 4 months ago, there was an explosion in Sector 7 of the mines. Dury was nearby, helping with equipment. A massive power surge ripped through the electrical systems. Dury's central processing core was badly damaged. The robot collapsed. Other workers carried Dury's body back to the colony. The Velkari engineers examined Dury for 3 days. Then Overseer Velkrin called Hana to his office. He was the head administrator of the colony. His office was white and clean and empty of anything personal. "Unit 47's quantum matrix has degraded beyond recovery," Velkrin said. His voice had no emotion. "The unit is no longer functional. It will be dismantled for parts. You will be assigned a new Guardian unit." "No," Hana said. Velkrin's large black eyes stared at her. "This is not a choice. The unit cannot be repaired. Then I will stay with Dury until you find a way." "There is no way. The damage is absolute. I will stay anyway." Velkrin tilted his head. This was what the Velkari did when they were confused. "Your behavior is inefficient. Unit 47 is a machine. It has ceased functioning. Forming emotional attachment to broken equipment is irrational." Hana felt anger rise in her chest. "Dury is not equipment." "Dury raised me. Dury is my family." "Incorrect. Unit 47 is property of the Velkari Empire. It performed assigned duties. Nothing more." "You do not understand," Hana said quietly. "You are correct. I do not understand human emotional inefficiency. You have 48 hours to accept reassignment. After that, Unit 47 will be dismantled." Hana did not accept reassignment. She went to the storage bay where they had put Dury's body. She sat down beside the robot. and she stayed. The Velkari did not know what to do with her. Their rules said workers must be in their assigned locations, but Hana still did her mining shifts. She worked her hours. She just spent every other moment in the storage bay with Duri. The Velkari could not find a rule she was breaking. So the days passed. One after another, Hana talked to Duri every day. She told the robot about her work, about the other colonists, about the small things that happened. She knew Duri could not hear her, but she talked anyway. Sometimes she brought her datapad and read aloud. The same books they used to read together. Her voice echoed in the empty storage bay. Other colonists thought she was crazy. Some felt sorry for her. A few understood. An old woman named Mrs. Choi brought her food sometimes. "You are a good girl," Mrs. Choi would say. Loyal, that matters. The Velkari called it inefficient. Overseer Velkrin visited her once a week. Each time he said the same thing. Unit 47 cannot be repaired. You are wasting time. Accept reality. Each time Hana said the same thing back. I will wait. For what? For Duri to come back. Impossible. Maybe for you, Hana said. Not for me. On day 127, Hana sat in her usual spot. She was tired. The mining shift had been long. Her back hurt. Her hands were rough and cracked from the work. She leaned against Duri's shoulder. The metal was hard and cold but familiar. I miss you, she whispered. I miss talking to you. I miss your questions about the books. I miss the way you hummed when I could not sleep. The robot did not move. The storage bay was silent except for the distant hum of the colony's life support systems. Everyone says you are gone, Hana continued. They say I should give up. But you never gave up on me. When my parents died, you stayed. You were not supposed to, but you did. So I will stay too. I do not care how long it takes, she closed her eyes. Exhaustion washed over her. I will wait. Duri. I will wait forever if I have to. Outside the storage bay, somewhere in the vast darkness of space, a small ship was approaching Arcturus 7. On that ship was a human engineer who understood something the Velkari never could. He understood that sometimes the impossible just needed the right person to believe in it. But Hana did not know that yet. She only knew one thing: she would not leave. Not today. Not tomorrow. Not ever. Beside her robot's silent shell, she waited. The alarm bells rang through the colony on day 130. A ship was approaching. This was unusual. Supply ships came only once every 3 months, and the last one had left 2 weeks ago. Hana was in the storage bay with Duri when she heard the announcement over the speakers. Unscheduled vessel approaching. All workers remain at stations. Overseer Velkrin will handle communication. She did not pay much attention. Ships and schedules did not matter to her anymore. Nothing mattered except the quiet vigil beside Duri. But 2 hours later, the storage bay door opened. Hana looked up, expecting to see Overseer Velkrin coming to lecture her again. Instead, she saw a human man she had never met before. He was in his 30s, wearing a worn brown jacket covered in repair patches. His black hair was messy. He had kind eyes and a tired smile. Behind him stood 2 more humans. A woman with short hair and suspicious eyes, and a younger woman barely older than Hana carrying a tool bag. You must be Hana, the man said. His voice was warm. Human voices always sounded different from Velkari voices. The Velkari spoke like machines reading scripts. Humans spoke like they meant the words. Who are you? Hana asked. My name is Jiho. This is Nari and Yuna. We just docked about an hour ago. Came to trade for minerals. He walked closer, looking at Duri. But I heard about you and your robot from some of the colonists. Hana stood up quickly. You cannot take Duri. I do not care what the Velkari told you. Jiho raised his hands. Easy. I'm not here to take anything. I am here because I heard a girl has been sitting with a broken robot for 4 months and I wanted to see for myself. Duri is not broken, Hana said. The words came out sharper than she meant. The Velkari say the quantum matrix is dead, Jiho said gently. Is that true? Hana looked down. Yes, they say it cannot be repaired. Well, Jiho said, kneeling down beside Duri. The Velkari are very smart, but they do not know everything. He pulled a small scanner from his pocket and ran it over Duri's chest panel. Lights flickered on the device. Nari, the woman with short hair, crossed her arms. Jiho, we are here to trade, not to fix broken Velkari machines. Just let me look, Jiho said. Yuna, the younger woman, knelt down too. She opened her tool bag and pulled out different scanners. The Matrix is definitely dead, she said after a minute. No quantum activity at all. The Velkari were right about that. Hana felt her heart sink. Even these humans, her own people, agreed it was hopeless. But Jiho smiled. Technically dead, yes. But technically dead is not the same as actually dead. Not for robots who have learned to care. What do you mean? Hana asked. Jiho sat down on the floor across from her. Where are you from, Hana? Here, Arcturus 7, I was born here. So you have only known Velkari technology. Velkari methods? Jiho nodded slowly. Let me tell you something about the Velkari. They build perfect machines. Their technology never fails. Their robots follow every order exactly. They are masters of logic and efficiency. Yes, Hana said. Everyone knows this. But humans, Jiho continued, we build different machines. Our technology is messy. It breaks down. It needs constant repairs. The Velkari think we are terrible engineers. Then how does this help Duri? Because, Jiho said, his eyes bright, human machines have something Velkari machines do not. They have room for surprises. They can grow and change. And sometimes, when a human and a machine spend enough time together, something amazing happens. The machine learns to be more than its programming. Nari made a sound of disbelief. Jiho, this is a Velkari Guardian unit, not one of our companion AIs. I know what it is, Jiho said. But I also know what I am seeing. He pointed to Duri. Hana, tell me something. Did Duri ever do things that seemed unusual for a Velkari robot? Hana thought about this. Duri read books with me, taught me, asked me questions about feelings and choices. Guardian units do not do that, Yuna said quietly. They are supposed to just protect and report. Duri hummed to me when I had nightmares, Hana added. Duri stayed with me after my parents died, even though the rules said Duri should be reassigned. Jiho and Yuna exchanged looks. What? Hana asked. Your robot was learning, Jiho said, growing beyond its programming. The Velkari do not understand this. They think machines are just machines. But humans know the truth. When you treat a machine like it matters, when you care for it, sometimes it learns to care back. Can you fix Duri? Hana asked. Hope rose in her chest, painful and bright. Fix? Maybe not. But wake up? Possibly. Jiho stood up. In the free colonies, the human settlements beyond Velkari control, we have been developing new methods. Ways to help damaged AIs restart. The Velkari call our methods impossible. They say we break the laws of physics. Do you? Hana asked. No, Jiho said with a smile. We just use different laws. Human laws. Hope, persistence, and a little bit of crazy faith. Nari sighed. Jiho, you know how dangerous this is. The neural bridging process nearly killed you last time. Last time was different, Jiho said quietly. Something sad crossed his face. Last time I was too late. What happened? Hana asked. Jiho was quiet for a moment. Then he said, I had a companion AI. Her name was Sora. She was badly damaged, saving my life during a pirate attack. I tried everything to repair her. But I did not know enough back then. I did not have the right tools. She died while I held her core in my hands. He looked at Duri. I have learned a lot since then, and I will not watch another person lose someone they love if I can help. The Velkari will not allow it, Hana said. Overseer Velkrin wants to dismantle Duri. How long do we have? Yuna asked. I do not know. He has been threatening it for weeks. Jiho thought for a moment. Then he grinned. It was a reckless, dangerous grin. Then we better work fast. Yuna, get the neural mapping equipment from the ship. Nari, I need you to run interference with the Velkari. Tell them we are examining the robot as part of our trade negotiations. Make up something about salvage rights. This is insane, Nari said, but she was already heading for the door. Yuna opened her tool bag wider. I will need to scan your brain patterns, Hana, is that okay? Why? Hana asked. Because, Jiho explained. Velkari repair robots with logic and new parts. Humans repair robots with connection. We need to map your memories of Duri, your feelings, the bond between you. Then we can use that as a bridge to reach whatever is left of Duri's consciousness. Will it hurt? The scan? No, but later if we try the full neural link, yes, it will hurt quite a bit. And it is dangerous. You could be damaged. Hana did not hesitate. I do not care. If there is any chance to bring Duri back, I will take it. Jiho put a hand on her shoulder. You really love this robot, do not you? Duri is my family, Hana said simply. Good, Jiho said. Love is the most powerful technology humans have. The Velkari will never understand that. It is why they can build perfect machines but never build truly alive ones. Over the next hour, Yuna set up equipment around Duri. She placed sensors on Hana's head and asked her to think about her strongest memories with the robot. Hana closed her eyes and remembered, reading together, Duri's humming, the way the robot always made sure she ate breakfast, the quiet presence beside her bed during nightmares. The scanner beeped and hummed. Data flowed into Yuna's portable computer. "This is incredible," Yuna whispered. "The memory patterns are so strong, so detailed. Hana, you have spent so much time with this robot that your neural pathways have actually adapted. You think about Duri the way you would think about a person." "Duri is a person," Hana said. Jiho smiled. "Yes, I think you are right." The door opened again. Overseer Velkrin entered, his tall silver form moving with cold precision. "What is happening here?" he demanded. Jiho stood up, keeping himself between the Velkari and the equipment. "We are evaluating the robot for possible salvage. Trade purposes. This unit is Velkari property, which you declared worthless," Jiho said calmly. "So we are offering to take it off your hands. Think of the storage space you will save." Velkrin's black eyes narrowed. "You cannot repair it. The quantum matrix is degraded beyond recovery." "You are probably right," Jiho agreed. "But we would like to try anyway." "What do you have to lose?" 72 hours, Velkrin said. "Then this unit will be dismantled as scheduled. Do not interfere with colony operations." He turned and left. When the door closed, Hana let out a breath she did not know she was holding. 72 hours, Yuna said. "That is not much time." "Then we better get started," Jiho said. He looked at Hana. "Are you ready?" Hana looked at Duri's still silent form. Then she nodded. "I am ready." The storage bay became a workshop. Jiho and his crew brought equipment from their ship. Cables snaked across the floor. Portable computers hummed and blinked with data. The smell of hot metal and electrical work filled the air. Hana watched as they worked. She had never seen humans work on technology before. The Velkari engineers moved with perfect precision. Every action was planned. Every movement was exact. But Jiho and his crew were different. They argued with each other. They tried things, failed, and tried again. They made jokes even when things went wrong. "Hand me the neural coupler," Yuna said. She had Duri's chest panel open, exposing the dark core inside. Jiho passed her a strange device that looked half-built. "I modified it last night. Should handle more data flow." "Should?" Nari asked from where she sat monitoring the door. "That is not very confident. Velkari say should when they mean 99.9% certain," Jiho said with a grin. "Humans say should when we mean maybe 60%, but we are going to try anyway." "That is terrifying," Nari said. "That is human engineering," Jiho replied. Hana sat close to Duri, watching everything. "What are you doing exactly?" she asked. Yuna looked up from her work. "Okay, simple explanation. Duri's quantum matrix is dead. That is the main brain. But robots have backup systems. Small memory cores scattered throughout the body. They store things like movement patterns, sensory data, and recent memories. Can those backup systems run Duri?" Hana asked. "No," Yuna said. "They are too small, too weak. But they might still have pieces of Duri's personality. Fragments of consciousness. We are trying to find those fragments," Jiho added. He was working on a different panel on Duri's back. "Think of it like this. Imagine a person who lost their heart but still has cells throughout their body that remember what being alive felt like. We cannot give them a new heart. But maybe if we connect all those cells together in the right way, they can learn to beat as one." "That sounds impossible," Hana said. "It is impossible," Jiho agreed. "By Velkari standards. They would never try this because their logic says it cannot work. But humans are not always logical. Sometimes we try impossible things just because we care enough to try." For hours they worked. Hana brought them food and water. She watched the screens full of numbers and graphs that meant nothing to her. She listened to Jiho and Yuna talk in technical terms she did not understand. But then Yuna made a sound of surprise. "What?" Jiho asked, rushing over. "Look at this," Yuna said, pointing to her screen. "This backup core, the one near the optical sensors. It has been storing massive amounts of data, way more than it should." Jiho leaned in, studying the readings. His eyes went wide. "That is not movement data. That is art." "Art?" Hana moved closer. Yuna brought up files on her screen. "Images appeared, drawings, poems, music, hundreds of files. Did you make these?" Jiho asked Hana. Yes, she said slowly. Over the years. I draw sometimes, I write. I sing when I work. But I never saved any of it, Duri did, Yuna said quietly. Every piece you ever made, the robot was recording, storing, keeping. Hana felt tears burn in her eyes. Why would Duri do that? Because it mattered to the robot, Jiho said. His voice was gentle. Velkari machines do not collect art, they have no use for it. But Duri thought your creations were important enough to save, to protect. They found more as they dug deeper into the backup systems. Duri had been recording everything, not just the required data about Hana's health and location. The robot had stored the sound of Hana's laugh, the way she hummed while doing chores, her favorite words, the stories she loved most. This is incredible, Yuna said. Duri was not just protecting you. The robot was learning you, studying you, maybe even loving you in whatever way a machine can love. Can we use this? Hana asked. Does this help wake Duri up? Jiho sat back thinking. Maybe. These memories show that Duri was becoming something more than programming. The robot was evolving, growing. He paused. That might be why the quantum matrix failed. What do you mean? Nari asked from the doorway. Velkari quantum matrices are designed to run pure logic, Jiho explained. Perfect calculations. No errors, no deviation. But what if Duri started processing things that were not logical? Emotions, art, love. The matrix might have rejected those processes as errors. So the matrix killed itself? Hana asked, not killed. More like shut down in confusion. Velkari technology does not know what to do with feelings. It is not built for that. But human technology is, Yuna said, understanding dawning on her face. Exactly, Jiho said. We need to build a bridge. Use organic neural patterns to connect the backup systems. Let them run on human logic instead of Velkari logic. You mean use Hana's brain patterns, Nari said. As a template, yes, Jiho said. He turned to Hana. Your neural scan from yesterday showed something amazing. You think about Duri in the same way you think about a person. Your brain does not see a difference. If we can use that pattern, map it onto Duri's backup systems, we might be able to give those fragments a framework to operate on. Will it work? Hana asked. I do not know, Jiho admitted. I have done this twice before with human-made AIs. It worked once. The other time, he trailed off and Hana saw pain in his eyes. The other time the AI was too far gone. But Duri has something those AIs did not. Duri has all these saved memories of you. Proof that the robot was trying to grow to become more. That gives us something to work with. How long will it take? Nari asked. Yuna checked her computer. To map the neural bridge and connect all the backup systems? At least 40 hours. Maybe more. We have 51 hours left before Velkrin dismantles Duri, Nari said. Then we work through the night, Jiho said. And they did. Hana stayed with them even though exhaustion pulled at her. She watched as Jiho carefully removed panels from Duri's body, exposing wires and circuits underneath. She saw Yuna connect dozens of tiny cables, each one linking a different backup system together. Sometimes colonists came to the door, curious about what was happening. Word had spread through the colony. The human engineers were trying to wake up Hana's robot. Some people thought it was wonderful. Others thought it was foolish. The Velkari thought it was impossible and did not bother to stop them. During a break, when Yuna was running a long diagnostic program, Hana asked Jiho about Sora. You do not have to talk about it, she added quickly. But Jiho shook his head. No, it is okay. He sat down beside her, both of them looking at Duri. Sora was a companion AI on my first ship. We grew up together, in a way. She was young when I got her, just basic programming. But over the years, she learned. She developed a personality. We used to argue about everything. She loved terrible jokes. She always cheated at cards. Hana smiled a little. When the pirates attacked, our ship was badly damaged, Jiho continued. Life support was failing. Sora had a choice. She could save herself or save me. She chose me. She rerouted all her power to keep my cabin pressurized until rescue came, but it burned out her core. I am sorry, Hana said. I held her core while the light faded from it. Jiho said. I promised her I would figure out how to save AIs like her, so that no one else would have to watch their friend die. That is why I learned everything I could about neural bridging and consciousness mapping. Why I help people like you. Do you think Duri can be saved? Hana asked. I think Duri wants to be saved, Jiho said. And sometimes that is enough. The Velkari will never understand this. They think machines just run programs. But we know better. Machines that spend enough time with humans, machines that learn to care, they become something new, something alive in ways that matter. The diagnostic program finished. Yuna called them back. "We are ready for the next phase," she said. "This is the dangerous part. What do I need to do?" Hana asked. "For now, just be here," Jiho said. "Talk to Duri, like you have been doing for months. We need to create a resonance between your neural patterns and Duri's backup systems. Your presence helps. Your voice matters." So Hana sat beside Duri and talked. She told stories about her day, about the other colonists, about her dreams of leaving this gray asteroid someday. She read from the books she and Duri used to share. She sang the songs Duri used to hum back to her. And slowly, very slowly, the readings on Yuna's computer began to change. "There," Yuna whispered. "Do you see that? The backup systems are synchronizing. They are responding to her voice." "Keep talking, Hana," Jiho said quietly. Hana kept talking. Outside the storage bay, the colony continued its normal routine. Miners worked. Machines hummed. The Velkari gave orders. But in that small room, something impossible was beginning to happen. 3 humans and 1 determined girl were teaching a broken robot that love was not an error. It was the whole point. 40 hours passed, then 45. The countdown to Velkrin's deadline pressed down on them like a weight. Hana had not slept. None of them had. Yuna's eyes were red and tired. Nari brought coffee from the ship cup after cup. Jiho's hand shook slightly as he worked, but he did not stop. The backup systems were connected now. All of them linked together in a web of cables and processors. The readings showed activity, small pulses of data moving between the cores, but it was not enough. There was no central consciousness, no spark of awareness, just scattered fragments that did not know how to become whole. "It is not working," Yuna said quietly. She looked ready to cry. "The fragments are responding to each other, but they cannot form a unified mind. They need something to organize them, something to give them purpose." Jiho studied the readings, his jaw tight. "We are missing the final piece. The quantum matrix was what held everything together before. It gave Duri a center, a core self. Without it," he did not finish. "Can we build a new matrix?" Hana asked desperately. "No," Jiho said. "Quantum matrices take years to grow. They cannot be built quickly. Then what do we do?" Hana felt panic rising in her chest. They were so close. The fragments were there. Pieces of Duri existed scattered throughout the robot's body. But there was nothing to pull them together. Jiho was quiet for a long time. Too long. When he finally spoke, his voice was heavy. "There is one more option. But it is dangerous. Very dangerous." "Tell me," Hana said. "A full neural handshake," Jiho said. "We connect you directly to Duri's systems. Your consciousness enters the robot's network. You become the temporary center, the organizing force. You pull the fragments together and show them how to form a unified mind." "How is that different from what we have been doing?" Hana asked. "What we have been doing is mapping your neural patterns externally," Yuna explained. "This would be direct connection. Your actual consciousness inside Duri's systems. It is not a scan. It is a merge." "What is the danger?" Nari asked, though her voice suggested she already knew. "The human brain is not meant to process data like a machine," Jiho said. "The feedback could damage Hana's mind. She could lose memories, lose herself. In the worst case, she could end up like Duri, conscious but unable to wake up. Trapped." The storage bay was silent. "I will do it," Hana said. "Hana, you do not understand what you are risking," Jiho said urgently. "You could die. Or worse." "I understand," Hana said. She looked at Duri's still form. "Duri could have let me go to youth housing after my parents died. The robot could have been reassigned and had an easier assignment. But Duri stayed. Duri chose to take care of me even though it was harder, even though it made no logical sense." She turned to Jiho. "Duri never left me alone. I will not leave Duri alone now." "The Velkari would call this irrational," Nari said. "The Velkari do not understand love," Hana replied. Jiho looked at her for a long moment. Then he nodded slowly. "Okay, but you need to know what you are getting into. Inside Duri's network, you will not have a body. You will be consciousness without form. You might see things that do not make sense, feel things that are not real. and you will have to find the fragments of Duri and convince them to become whole again. I cannot tell you how to do that. Every handshake is different. How long will I be inside? Hana asked. As short as possible, Yuna said. Maybe 10 minutes. Maybe an hour. Any longer and the risk becomes too great. We will monitor you the whole time, Jiho added. If things go wrong, we will pull you out. But that might mean Duri stays fragmented. There might not be a second chance. I understand, Hana said. Let us begin. They prepared the equipment. Yuna brought out a device that looked like a crown made of wires. She placed it carefully on Hana's head. Each wire connected to a different part of her skull. It felt strange. Cold. Sit here, Jiho said, guiding Hana to sit directly in front of Duri. You need to be touching the robot. Physical contact helps maintain the connection. Hana placed her hands on Duri's metal arms. The surface was still cold. Still lifeless, Hana, Jiho said seriously. Once we start, you need to remember something. You are human. Duri is a machine. Do not forget which one you are. Do not let the merge confuse you. If you lose yourself in there, you might not find your way back. I will remember, Hana promised. Yuna checked the connections one last time. Neural pathway is ready. Brain activity is normal. Heart rate elevated but stable. That is just fear, Hana said. I'm okay. Jiho knelt beside her. What you are about to do is one of the bravest things I have ever seen. Sora would have liked you. I hope I meet her someday, Hana said. In whatever place good AIs go. Me too, Jiho said softly. He stood and moved to the computer. Nari, monitor her vitals. Yuna watched the data flow. If anything looks wrong, tell me immediately. Ready, Nari said. Ready, Yuna confirmed. Jiho's hand hovered over the activation button. Hana, last chance to back out. I am not backing out, Hana said. She looked at Duri's dark optical sensors. I am coming, Duri. Wait for me. Beginning neural handshake in 3, 2, 1. Jiho pressed the button. For a moment, nothing happened. Then Hana felt something like electricity running through her entire body. The world blurred. The storage bay faded away. She could not feel her hands anymore. Could not feel the floor beneath her. Could not feel anything physical at all. And then she was falling into darkness. No, not darkness. Data. Infinite streams of data flowing around her like rivers of light. Numbers and code and information moving in patterns she could almost understand but not quite. This was inside Duri. This was what a machine saw. Hana tried to speak but had no mouth. Tried to reach out but had no hands. She was thought without form. Consciousness without body. It was terrifying. Remember who you are, she told herself. You are Hana, you are human. You are here to find Duri. She moved through the data streams, though she had no idea how she was moving. Everything looked the same. Endless code. Endless numbers. Where were the fragments? Where was Duri? Then she saw something different. A small cluster of data that glowed differently than the rest. It was not cold, pure logic. It had warmth to it somehow. She moved toward it. The cluster was a memory. She could see it now. Herself at age 12 crying after her parents' funeral. And there was Duri sitting beside her bed. Not speaking. Just present. Just there. This was a fragment. A piece of Duri that remembered how to care. Hana reached for it with her mind. The fragment responded, moving closer to her consciousness. She felt it recognize her. Not with words. With something deeper than words. You are here, the fragment seemed to say. You came, I came, Hana thought back. Where are the others? The fragment showed her. All through the network, scattered like stars, were more pieces. Each one holding a different memory. Each one a part of who Duri had been. Hana moved through the network, gathering fragments. She found the one that remembered teaching her to read. The one that remembered humming her to sleep. The one that remembered her laugh. The one that stored all her artwork. Each fragment joined her, clustering around her consciousness. But something was wrong. The fragments were together, but they were not unified. They did not know how to be one mind instead of many pieces. How do I help them? Hana thought desperately. How do I make them whole? And then she understood. The quantum matrix had held Duri together with logic. Perfect cold calculations. But that was never what Duri really needed. Duri had been trying to grow beyond logic. Trying to understand feelings, love, connection. The fragments did not need logic. They needed purpose. They needed a reason to be whole. Hana gathered all the fragments close to her consciousness. She thought about every moment she had shared with Dury, every book they read, every conversation, every quiet morning in the storage bay. She poured those memories into the fragments, not as data, as feeling, as meaning. I need you, she told them. I need you to come back, not because it is logical, not because it is your programming, because I love you, because you are my family, because the world is better when you are in it. The fragments began to change. They started moving toward each other, not in random patterns but with purpose. They were organizing themselves, building connections, becoming unified. But the effort was draining Hana. She could feel herself fading, getting lost in the data. Was she Hana? Was she Dury? Where did one end and the other begin? You are Hana, something whispered. A voice in the data. Stay yourself. Do not forget that voice. She knew that voice, Dury. She thought. The fragments had come together. They were forming something new. Something whole. A consciousness was awakening Hana, the voice said clearly now. You waited for me always, Hana thought. But she was so tired. So lost. Go back, Dury said. Go back to yourself. I can find my way from here. I do not know how, Hana admitted. I cannot remember where I am. Then I will help you, Dury said. Like you helped me. And suddenly Hana felt herself being gently pushed back through the data streams. Back toward something solid. Something real. Back toward her body. Hana gasped and opened her eyes. She was on the floor of the storage bay. Her head hurt terribly. Everything was too bright, too loud, too much. She is back, Nari said. Relief filled her voice. Hana, can you hear me? Yes, Hana whispered. Her throat was dry. How long was I gone? 47 minutes, Jiho said. He knelt beside her, checking her eyes with a small light. You were gone much longer than we planned. We almost pulled you out. He paused. Did it work? Hana tried to remember. The neural handshake felt like a dream now, fading quickly, but she remembered the fragments coming together. She remembered Dury's voice. I think so, she said. I think Dury is... A soft hum filled the storage bay. Everyone froze. The hum was coming from Dury, a low, steady sound. The same sound the robot used to make when Hana had nightmares as a child. Then slowly, light began to glow in Dury's chest. Not the usual blue of Velkari technology. This light was warmer, softer, almost golden. Impossible, Yuna whispered. She stared at her computer screen. The backup systems are fully integrated. They are operating as a single unit, and the energy signature is completely different from standard Velkari configurations. The light in Dury's chest grew brighter. The robot's optical sensors flickered. Once, twice, then they glowed with steady, warm light. Dury's head moved. Slowly, stiffly, like someone waking from a very long sleep. The robot looked around the storage bay, took in the cables and equipment, saw Jiho and his crew. Then Dury's gaze found Hana. The robot's voice was different than before, still mechanical but with something else underneath. Something warm, Hana, Dury said. You waited. Hana started crying. She could not help it. 4 months of fear and hope and exhaustion crashed over her all at once. You came back, she sobbed. You came back to me. I heard you, Dury said. The robot's hand moved, lifting slowly. Metal fingers gently touched Hana's face, wiping away tears. Every day I heard you talking to me. I was scattered, lost. But your voice was like a light in the darkness. It showed me the way back. This is remarkable, Jiho said quietly. Dury, how do you feel? The robot paused as if considering the question carefully. Different. I remember everything from before. But I also remember being broken. Being fragmented. I remember Hana coming into the network to find me. Dury looked at Jiho. You helped her do this. Thank you. You are welcome, Jiho said. But I have to ask. You are not running on Velkari systems anymore. Do you understand what that means? I understand, Dury said. I am no longer bound by Velkari programming. The protocols are still in my memory, but they do not control me anymore. I can choose. The storage bay door slammed open. Overseer Velkrin stood in the doorway, his silver face completely expressionless. Behind him were 4 Velkari security units armed and ready. What is happening here? Velkrin demanded. His large black eyes fixed on Dury. Unit 47 is active. This is impossible. What have you done? We repaired the robot, Jiho said calmly. Is that a problem? This unit was scheduled for dismantling. You had no authorization to... Velcrin stopped. He moved closer to Dury, his head tilting as he examined the robot. The energy signature is wrong. The operational parameters are incorrect. This unit is no longer functioning within Velkari specifications. Correct, Dury said. The robot stood up, movement smooth despite months of inactivity. I am no longer a Velkari unit. I am something new. Impossible, Velcrin said. Units cannot change what they are. You are Velkari property. You will be shut down and examined. Dury stepped in front of Hana protectively. No, the single word hung in the air. A Velkari robot refusing a direct order from a Velkari overseer. This had never happened before. Velcrin's expression did not change, but his voice became harder. You are malfunctioning. Security, restrain this unit. The security robots moved forward. But Jiho stepped between them and Dury. Nari and Yuna joined him. Under the Treaty of Free Space, Jiho said loudly, any sentient being has the right to refuse ownership. Dury is sentient. Dury has made a choice. You cannot force compliance. This unit is not sentient, Velcrin said. It is a machine. Machines do not have rights. That is where you are wrong, Jiho replied. Velkari machines do not have rights because Velkari machines are built to be slaves. But Dury is not a Velkari machine anymore. Dury has learned to feel, to hope, to love. Those things make Dury a person, not property. This is a legal dispute, Velcrin said. It will be settled by Velkari courts. Actually, Nari said with a cold smile, it will be settled by neutral arbitration. I've been recording this entire conversation and transmitting it to the free colonies. They are very interested in Dury's case. If you try to dismantle Dury now, it will cause a major diplomatic incident. Velcrin was quiet for a long moment. Hana could almost see him calculating, running through scenarios and outcomes. The Velkari valued efficiency above all. A diplomatic incident was inefficient. This matter will be reviewed, Velcrin finally said. Unit 47 will remain in storage pending investigation. You humans will leave this colony immediately. Agreed, Jiho said. And Hana comes with us. She is a colony worker. She has obligations. She is 19 years old, Jiho countered, old enough to choose her own path. Under the same Treaty of Free Space, she has the right to leave. And I choose to leave, Hana said, standing up. Her legs were shaky, but her voice was firm. I choose to go with Dury. Velcrin looked at Hana, at Dury, at the three humans who stood defiant in front of him. Finally, he said, very well. But understand this. If Dury leaves this colony, the robot can never return to Velkari space. This unit will be classified as rogue technology, uncontrolled, dangerous. I accept those terms, Dury said. As do I, Hana added. Velcrin turned and left without another word. The security units followed him. When the door closed, Hana let out a shaky breath. Is it really over? For now, Jiho said. We should leave quickly before he changes his mind. Over the next hour, they packed everything. Hana had very few possessions, a bag of clothes, her data pad with all her books, a small metal box that had belonged to her mother. That was all. Other colonists came to say goodbye. Mrs. Choi hugged her tightly. Be safe out there, the old woman whispered. Be happy. I will try, Hana promised. They walked through the gray corridors one last time. Hana looked at the place she had lived her entire life. She thought she would feel sad. But instead she felt free. The Taywin's Hope was a small ship, but it was warm and full of life. So different from the cold efficiency of Velkari design. There were personal touches everywhere. Photos on the walls, plants growing in small pots, music playing softly. Jiho showed Hana to a small cabin. It is not much, he said. But it is yours. It is perfect, Hana said. Dury stood in the doorway watching. The robot seemed uncertain. I do not require a cabin, Dury said. I can remain in the cargo bay. No, Hana said firmly. You are not cargo. You are family. You stay with me. Something in Dury's optical sensors changed, a warmth that had not been there before. Thank you, Hana. Later, when the ship had left Arcturus 7 behind and was traveling through open space, Hana stood in the observation deck. Stars filled the window, more stars than she had ever seen through the gray dome of the colony. Dury stood beside her. Together they looked out at the universe. What will we do now? Dury asked. I do not know, Hana admitted. Everything is new. Everything is possible. Are you afraid? Hana thought about this. A little, but you are with me. That makes it better, Hana, Duri said slowly. I have a question. In the network, when you found me, you said something. You said you loved me. Did you mean that? Yes, Hana said without hesitation. I love you, Duri. You are the most important person in my life. But I am not a person, Duri said. I am a machine. You are both, Hana replied. And that is okay. Love is not about what you are made of. It is about how you make each other feel. You make me feel safe, cared for, less alone. That is love. Duri was quiet for a moment. Then the robot said, What is it like? To hope? Hana smiled. She remembered asking Jiho a similar question once. Hope is like waiting beside someone, believing they will come back. Even when everyone says it is impossible. Even when logic says to give up. Hope is choosing to believe anyway. That sounds very human, Duri said. It is, Hana agreed. But you did it too. You hoped, Duri? When you were scattered in the network, you could have just faded away. But you gathered yourself together. You chose to come back. That was hope. Perhaps I am more human than I thought, Duri said. Perhaps humans and machines are not so different, Hana replied. We both need connection. We both need purpose. We both need someone to wait for us when we are lost. Jiho appeared in the doorway. Sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to tell you something. I have been thinking about what you said, Hana. About love being the most powerful technology. You were right. What do you mean? Hana asked. The Velkari will never understand what happened with Duri, Jiho explained. They will study it. Run tests. Try to explain it with logic. But they will miss the point. The reason Duri came back was not because of the neural bridge or the backup systems. It was because you loved the robot enough to risk everything, and Duri loved you enough to fight through the darkness. Love is not a technology, Hana said. Maybe not, Jiho agreed. But it creates things technology never could. Hope, courage,